Most of us think we know exactly who we are, but there's a good chance we really don't. An executive looked at me one day and said, "Craig, you're the most strategic person I've ever worked with." And I said, "Thanks," but I didn't think a lot of it. In fact, I probably deflected it because I wasn't doing anything special. I had no idea that other people saw the way I approached my work strategically and how I approached team problems, and that how I was doing it was different than what others were doing. I was simply doing what I do. It felt natural to me. Specifically, I didn't have the language for my own skills and talents, and understanding that I'm neurodivergent was still many years away. This created a major gap in my understanding of who I am and what I can contribute in my work. My autism and ADHD were diagnosed during separate processes by professionals. Gaining a language for my talent came when I was exposed to Clifton Strengths. And because I love this language about talent so much, I became a certified coach. When the executive said that I was the most strategic, I simply didn't see it. But that doesn't mean that others didn't see it in me. Clifton Strengths lists 34 different talents that we all have. These talents are divided into four domains, which are executing, influencing, relationship building, and strategic thinking. Each of these four domains has 8 or 9 different talents listed within them. It turns out that I have 6 of the 8 strategic thinking talents within my top 10 strengths. What the executive was seeing in me was clearly what was wired into me. I couldn't not be strategic if I tried. Where the rubber meets the road is that I now have a language for who I am and how I operate. And it gives me a language to translate how I think and how I approach my work and put that into a language that everyone can understand and help them clearly see how I work and how I can make contributions. My Clifton strengths also link very directly with my autistic mind. I can't not see my autism in my talents. But if all I know is that I'm autistic, how can I talk about what I'm good at and how I'm able to help an organization? I have deep pattern recognition, systems thinking, noticing what others miss, and an ability to assess complex problems very quickly and come to a solution which is often right, even if I can't explain how I got there and why it's the right solution. Somebody knowing that I have all of these strategic thinking strengths would then be able to just trust my solution rather than questioning it because it came quickly. So if you're neurodivergent, how do you talk about your talent? How do you communicate your ability to make contributions? Because I hadn't discovered that I was strategic, I couldn't truly name what I was good at and what I was contributing. Without knowing I was neurodivergent, I didn't understand that I was actually thinking differently than others, and nor could I advocate for the conditions under which I would thrive, both physically and cognitively. Both absences had the same effect. I couldn't claim the talent, I couldn't explain it to others, and I couldn't protect it. For neurodivergent professionals, this is the quiet and compounding cost that you might be paying. Your best outputs get attributed to luck or personality or accident, not to talent and not to you. And sometimes you're doing that to yourself, and sometimes others are doing that to you. And most importantly, you can't advocate for something you don't have words for. When I finally got both languages around my talent and strengths and my neurodivergence, I looked back at that moment with that executive and everything just clicked. She wasn't just giving me a compliment. She was seeing my autistic brain do what it does best in a professional context without interference. I just couldn't see it yet. And if you're watching this and you don't have a language for the way your brain works, that's not a small thing. That gap between your talent and your ability to name it is real, and it has a cost. That's the work I do with people, finding a language and then figuring out what to do with it. Follow me on LinkedIn at Craig A. Isaac, MA. And if you're autistic, with or without other neurodivergent conditions, I have a side project going that I'd love to talk to you about. Please message me for more details. I'm Craig, and I'm a founder at Work Better Co., where we use human-centered design to remove friction for neurodivergent employees in a way that benefits everyone. Connect with me on LinkedIn or visit us at work-better.co.